Everybody. Well, welcome to World of Wildlife. This is our monthly gathering of wildlife people around the world. We've got people here today from Kyoto in Japan. We've got people from Borneo. We've got people from Vancouver. And Matt, our guest speaker today, is in Melbourne at the moment, although he works in North Queensland. So we're all around the world. My name is Dr. Sarah Pai, and I'm your host today, along with Dr. Wong Siew Te, who's in Borneo. So the way this gathering works is we meet once a month on the 10th of every month. Now the time changes so that all these people from around the world can come, and we've got a lot of people who actually follow us after the event and watch the video in their own time zone when it's appropriate for them. So the way it works is I'll give you a little bit of an update on what I've been doing for the last month, and then I'll pass over to Wong to give us a bit of an update on what's happening in Borneo with bears and other wildlife. He might be telling us something about orangutans, and this month, we never know. And then we'll pass over to Matt Connors, who is our expert from North Queensland, who'll be talking about his area of expertise. So I'm not going to spill the beans on that one just yet. Let me share my screen. Okay, so my update, let's start with that one. I am the author of a number of books, and you'll see a new one on there this month, because Curious Kai Asks Why is actually being launched on the 15th, next Monday. You're all invited, but I'll get to that at the end of today. Most of my books are about Dr. Wong Siew Te in Borneo, Wildlife Wong series about his adventures with different species in the jungles of Borneo, and Saving Some Bears is his biography, which I wrote as my doctorate. Curious Kai Asks Why, the newest book, actually features our guest speaker today, Matthew Connors, about bugs, and we're going to hear all about those today. I'm very excited to hear what Matthew has to say. It's been a crazy month for me, though. It's been National Science Week in Australia, followed by National Book Week back to back. So for National Science Week, I was in schools 4 days out of 5, spending time with students, teaching them about the environment through my narratives. Went really, really well. I was all over the place there. And then Book Week took place from the 16th to 23rd of August. This is ends up being pretty much a book month in Australia, with librarians and teachers embracing this idea of books. So I spent a lot of time in classrooms, doing probably mostly my one of the workshops where I actually introduce people to the rainforest. They learn how rainforest works, and then they actually get to build a mini rainforest in a jar. So these are some of the jars that the children made during Book Week. After that, directly after that, was the Yamundi Writers Festival, and I was on a panel discussion with Tony Wellington, who's the ex-mayor of Noosa, talking about how the pen can save the world and how we feel writing is important when it comes to science and conservation. I also met some very cool kids there who ran up to me in the middle of the street, and I felt a little bit like a celebrity, so that was kind of fun. After that, Sandra, who's here. Sandra is the illustrator of Curious Kai Asks Why. She and I were part of Romancing the Stars, which is an event on the Sunshine Coast where librarians and teachers get to meet local authors, and we get to basically pitch to them about our books and workshops and things like that in a speed dating sort of a format. So that was a bit of a fun thing to do. And then I did another workshop doing Rainforest in a Jar in Glasshouse Christian College last week, where my puppet Pongo came along and helped kids understand a little bit more about the rainforest. So that's pretty much what's been going on for my month. I'm hoping to have a slightly slower month, but I don't think it's likely to happen, because the online launch of Curious Kai will happen next Monday. The way this works is, if you guys register, I'm going to share the registration link. If you register on Monday morning, you'll be sent a link to a YouTube video, and in that YouTube video, it's about a 45-minute launch video, and I'm introducing the book. I'm interviewing Sandra, the illustrator, and I'm interviewing all the scientists. There's 11 different scientists that Curious Kai actually meets in this narrative, where she's traveling around Queensland, having her crazy questions about wildlife answered. So the scientists are real, even though Curious Kai is not. And you'll get to meet them if you come to the launch. Now, because it's a video, you'll get the ability to watch this launch anytime during that entire week, which means it doesn't matter what time zone you're in. So please register. Be lovely to have you as part of that launch. Good. All right, so now I'm going to pass over to Dr. Wong Siew Te, founder and director of the Borneo and Sun Bear Conservation Centre. And we might pass over with two little segues here, Wong. One of them is perhaps you could start by telling us a little bit about the macaques and their interbreeding. And also, just wondering if you can tell us about an insect that's named after you.
Oh yeah, sure. Okay, so good to see everybody. And talking about speciations, talking about naming a new species, this is definitely a very interesting sessions that we share by Matt. So good job. For your information, I actually have a stick insect named after me. It's really amazing. It is a stick insect that was described in Sabah by a friend of mine. Francis, yeah, he's a uh, medical doctor, but his hobby is on stick insect. And then he's from Singapore, uh, and then he every time he come to Borneo, he go to the forest, he go to the West Malaysia, he go to Sumatra, and then looking for a stick insect. And he's a true self-trained naturalist, and he described a bunch of species. And it happens to be that every times when he go to the forest, he will describe many stick insect species. And I'm very honored that one of them is called Plasmosocidium cutii. Let me show you how it looks like. 1 minute.
This is pretty cool. Matt, that one day we need a Curious Kai insect, please.
I could make that happen.
That'd be brilliant.
Yeah, so this is called the so on this book, so like what Matt just described, there's a description for this book. The name is Plasmosocidium cutii, and the pictures of the stick insect looks like this.
Wow, there we
Well, it
go.
just looks like a stick insect, and then only expert can be able to tell them apart. Yeah, and of course with my picture on it. So that's my stick insect for sure. Okay. Yeah.
Love it. Well done.
And
And the
then a
other
lot
thing
of
we
people.
were talking about was the macaques. Wong.
Yeah, sure. So here in the at this Sepilo here at the Borneo Sambal Conservation Center and the Orangutan Rehabilitation Center, we are next to each other. And then the local in Borneo, there are two different species of macaque, which is the long-tail macaque and the pigtail macaque. And then in the wild, both of these macaque, they have, although they are macaque, but they have different niche, meaning that they have different requirements in terms of habitat and so on. But here at the Orangutan Center, because of the constant feeding of the orangutans at the Orangutan Center, and after the Borneo Sambal Conservation Center established, we also feed our bears in the forest enclosures, and then these two species of macaques mixed together. And then because it is a good environment, good life, because that is, food is literally satisfaction guaranteed. And just like when you go to a all you can eat buffet restaurant, it is situation is just exactly like that. So when food is abundant, satisfaction guarantee, and life is good for them. And then when life is good for them, they mix around and they breed with each other. Okay. And then we also see that the hybrid is actually fertile. It's not like mule. It's not like horses and donkey, and then you have the mule, and the mule is sterile. But these hybrids are fertile. They can produce baby, and the babies can produce babies again. So this is something that is quite interesting for taxonomists or primatologists to look at. And at first, I thought it is just a unique situations that happen here in Sepilo. However, 2 years ago when we were rescuing Wawa from an oil palm plantation next to the Tabin Wildlife Reserve where we release Wawa, one of our bears. And then that plantation also have this hybrid macaque. I was very surprised, and after that I know exactly why, because the oil palm plantations also facilitate food. You know, they also have additional food, which is the oil palm seed for the macaque to eat, and then so those macaque that live adjacent to an oil palm plantations, just a matter of time they will learn that, hey, the oil palm plantations produce a lot of oil palm seed, and which is good food for them, and then they decide to stay, they decide to hang around, and then they decide to mate. So that's what we are seeing. And there's even more interesting case. The macaque, at least, you know, the pigtail macaque is called Macaca nimastrina, and then the long-tail macaque is called Macaca fascicularis. At least they have the same genus. And there was another very interesting cases here in Sabah where a proboscis monkey, big nose monkey, is seen mating with a silver leaf monkey several years ago. And it was at Kinabatangan. And then because Kinabatangan was was highly visited by visitors and researchers, and then this phenomenon was actually documented by my friends, a professor from Taiwan. And then a big male proboscis monkey actually mated with a female silverleaf monkey. And then because that area has been frequently visited by tourists, tour guide, and that particular individual was seen giving birth to a very weird looking babies. And then right now this baby become an adult and she's having her own babies.
Oh,
So
neat.
yes, and then there was a scientific
I
paper
actually saw
published.
those when I was on Kinabatangan. It was really exciting to see them.
Oh yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's 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 very weird. And then there was actually a very long, like 12 pages scientific paper discuss about these hybridizations. And I think, you know, what happened is that when humans alter the landscape by destroying rainforests and stuff like that, and then at the same time, our activity also facilitate a new species being in creation. So
Mm,
whether it is good or not is on somebody's judgment, you know.
yeah.
So as life is amazing, life trying to survive, you know, speciations, animal try their best to survive through natural selections, and then with the landscape that we change over the years, and things are trying to survive, just like the polar bear and the brown bear hybridizations,
Yeah, it is,
because of
isn't
global
it?
warming and things like that. So in
Much
the near
still
future we
going
definitely will see, yeah, more
on.
and
Yeah.
more this kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well done. So Wong, this kid, tell us what's going on with you. Now, I noticed on your social medias that you had a few interactions with orangutans recently.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, orangutans always come here. I mean, every day. It's just that, well, they are there, and then I take a great picture of them. I said, oh, I
Yeah.
might show them as well, you know.
And what's happening
So
with your bears?
yeah, so around, well, okay, so for your information, we are next to the orangutan center, and then this center is literally run by the orangutan after 5 p.m. After all the staff leave, the orangutan take over. You know, sometimes if I leave slightly later, and then, you know, have many encounters. And then in terms of our centers, for myself, I've been doing a little bit of traveling lately to Taiwan for about 2 weeks or so, attending conference and giving talks, which is a good thing to, you know, go to Taiwan, and as well as visiting family. My kids and my wife live in Taiwan. And then in terms of the center, I think the biggest changes is that we are, as we speak, we are working on the entrance foyer. Our entrance will be very different the next time you visit, okay? Because it will be enlarged, and this is the black and white pictures of this yeah, so it is going to be a more friendly, more welcoming, more obvious entrance, because over the years we have a lot of comment from visitors that do not know that we exist, because our entrance is on such a very narrow boardwalk. So with this expansion, we hope, you know, we can be seen by everybody that visited the orangutan, the world famous orangutan rehabilitation center.
Brilliant.
Yeah, so the constructions is scheduled to be done on November in another 2 months' time, and then me and Wen Bing here today? Maybe
No,
not.
he's not. I don't
Yeah,
know where he.
yeah. Okay. Anyway, so maybe he's teaching. Yeah. Yeah, and are working on several great signboards, and I'm very looking forward to have that signboard printed out and installed because the two and other signboards that we have been working with on, I mean, we have a lot of positive comment from so many visitors. Yeah,
Signs are amazing, aren't they?
yeah, yeah. And then in terms of the bears, we have expanded our pen B and pen C and pen D. So visitors have great views of the bears, especially Romolina climbing trees, that just next to the boardwalk. And it was really amazing to see they use this tree and then show the natural behaviors. And all of the visitors that visited here are all very happy about seeing this. So that's why I'm saying, we're trying to use our rescued bear as the ambassador for the species, and then to educate the public about how amazing a sun bear is, and also how amazing the rainforest is, and that is a very good learning experience, as well as bringing the tourists to this part of the world, and then the tourist money will create jobs for the local people, will improve local people's livelihood to a point where the local people can choose not to hunt, can
Yeah,
choose to protect the forest, can choose to protect the wildlife, and then as well as the authority, the government see the potential revenues that generated from nature-based tourisms, and therefore it is good for everybody. And Wimbing and I have been working on a signboard called five win: win for the local people, win for the politician, win for the conservationists like me, and then win for yeah, and then eventually win for nature, win for wildlife. So
yeah.
that's the model we should go into. Yeah. And then the rest of the bears over here are good. I will post more videos of, like yesterday, Fulong was up on a tree, oh, so high. If you see my Instagram or my Facebook, I just posted late last night, and then I'm have another few more story of Romelina climbing trees, making nests in front of everybody, and all of these was so difficult to see in the wild. Yeah, so here it is possible to see. And I'm heading to Tabin, to Ladatu this afternoon, and then tomorrow I'm visiting Tinam and Pitang. Hopefully, I can bring more story to all of you.
Yeah,
Lately, they have been in the cages most of the time because of the elephants. The big herd of elephants is around the camp, so it's not safe for the team to walk them in the forest. And then both Pitang and Tinoms are mixed together, good friends now. They
yeah.
are both of them going good, and then both of them I cannot let them it's very scary every time I go and see them. I have to be hiding far away because they can sense, they once they smells me, they just dash towards my directions, and I can read sunbears, yeah, body language, right? And I know that they are not happy to see me. So, and then with their size right now, I think Tinam is 28 kilograms. Although it's small, but it looks like a size of a Rottweiler, and they can do a lot of damage with the claws and the canine. And then Pitang, the same thing. Pitang is almost is more than 20 kilograms now. So they both of them are doing are growing big. Yeah, so cannot wait to tell you more about how they do. Yeah,
Fantastic. I'll get an update on them next month, I hope.
yeah,
Thank
sure,
you, Wong.
sure.
That's a marvelous update. Does anyone